Hello there, world of takers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a very disappointed first look at the Tier 9 British collector medium tank, the Cobra. This vehicle on World of Tanks PC is known for being a Hesh-firing autoloader. We all know this because it's probably one of the most overpowered tanks if used correctly, but to combat the crazy good damage it deals on PC, it's got a ridiculously long reload, and it also features pretty poor penetration. And one of the biggest downsides on PC is you can't just swap willy-nilly between ammunition like Blitz. In Blitz, if you have the rear of, let's say, an E5, you can instantly swap into HE and shoot it in the rear and pen it. In PC, let's say you're in a Cobra and you got a 40-something second clip reload, you can't just swap into Hesh when you see the rear of a tank. You have to sit there, even with intuition, for probably a good 20 seconds before you can actually get that clip loaded. So yeah, there's definitely some big balancing factors to PC for a vehicle like this. Wargaming said, well, you know what, we don't know how to balance tanks and Blitz because we're bad at our jobs. So what we're actually going to do is we're not going to make it an autoloader at all. We're going to make it a single shot and ruin the entire point of this tank. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's a single shot vehicle. How could they possibly do this to a vehicle that is fully known for being an autoloader? In today's video, we're going to be breaking into the statistics of the Cobra, showcasing to you what it has to offer. Now, I'm not going to lie, it still seems like a decently fun and not even terribly balanced tank based off the stats here, but why did they do it to the Cobra? Why didn't they put these stats on a different Tier 9 British tank or something else? I don't know why they had to do it to the Cobra. It's definitely really sad to see that they're destroying what should have been an autoloader. So let's take a look. The vehicle features 1,800 hit points, which is actually quite a bit for a medium. Armor-wise, it doesn't have much. It's 150 on the turret, 90 on the sides, 90 on the rear. It doesn't have a lot of armor. Hull armor, 120, 50 on the sides, 50 on the rear. So overall, it has basically no armor. Like, even frontally on PC, this thing's got a lot of troll armor. In Blitz, think of it kind of like the Caliban. You're not going to bounce all too much. When it comes to the vehicle's mobility, also not that impressive. It only goes at a top speed of 45 and a reverse of 20. What that means is that, yeah, you'll reverse pretty quick just like any other medium, but actually getting in the position and accelerating, yeah, it's going to be more like a decently mobile heavy. I mean, heck, the T95E6 and Object 260 actually have better power to weights than this vehicle, so that is something I should point out. And in fact, when it comes to the power to weight, yeah, 17.3, not actually that impressive. This vehicle is only going to average 34 kilometers per hour. So kind of think of it like pre-buff Centurion speeds. It's not very good. When we take a look at the weight, though, very heavy. 56 tons is crazy heavy. That's actually more than the majority of heavy tanks in like tier 8 and 9. So what that means is you will very easily be able to ram your opponents, especially lightly armored vehicles. Even though you're not super fast, you still are going to be fast enough to ram them half the time. So yeah, this thing might be really good at getting that ramming potential out. Now, even though the tank isn't that fast, it still features plenty of traverse and turret traverse speed, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Really, the most important part about this tank, and what all of you probably want to talk about, is the gun. This vehicle's gun features 2,357 damage per minute, which is really not that impressive. I mean, the majority of mediums now in Tier 9 have upwards of 26 to 2,700, so yeah, I mean, even heck, the Leopard PTA sits upwards of 3,000 DPM at this point. So, I mean, it's not going to be bad DPM, but it's definitely nothing crazy. The reason I think it will be fine, though, is because of the fact it features 400 damage per shot. That's a lot, especially for a Tier 9 medium. The only medium we actually have a Tier 9 that features this type of alpha is, well, I guess you can count the T92E1 in there, but that's not a medium. I'm talking about the WZ120, but the WZ120 has not so great gun depression. This vehicle has double the gun depression of that tank, sitting at 10 degrees. So you're actually going to be quite flexible on ridge lines, and you've got pretty good standard pen at 260 because of the fact you actually do not carry any premium shells. You get heat and high explosive. Now that kind of sucks. I'll be honest, I hate heat shells. There's a couple reasons. First of all, heat means that you don't get shell normalization. So that 259 pen you're looking at is a flat 259 pen. That means if you're aiming at anything armored, even an E100 lower plate, I don't think that's enough pen to cut through an E100 lower plate frontally. So essentially, with a vehicle like this, let's say you're aiming at the front of a VK72, anything like that, you have no chance of penetrating your opponents, which kind of sucks. Add that into the fact it's only heat, which means if you're shooting at any spaced armor on medium tanks, even the side of a Centurion 1, if you misplace that shell by literally 1 inch, it'll just go absorbing into the spaced armor and not actually penetrate your shell. And the other shells it has is high explosive, which, yeah, it's got 209 mils of Hesh pen that deals 500 damage, bringing you up to a pretty crazy 3,000 damage per minute. Again, it's only a high explosive round, so this tank is literally going to struggle completely when dealing with anything that actually has good armor. Not only that, but anything that has spaced armor is going to be this vehicle's worst nightmare. So, yeah, I don't really love the way they balance this tank. If they want to have the vehicle the way it currently is, it should have at least AP for the standard ammo. That's just my opinion. But I think it should have AP for standard ammo. I don't think it's really fair that a vehicle like this that has so many downsides and only gets a little bit of a Hesh upside has the fact of not even having good pen. So that's my personal opinion. Sorry about that, just got a phone call from my grandfather. We're going to the park today, but even with that aside, let's go back to shaming this vehicle and see what else there is left to talk about. So we got the aiming time, 4.1 seconds. Now the aiming time is actually a little bit better because Asen has supercharge on. He's weird, like supercharge. I don't know why he runs it on like every tank. So if you actually have enhanced gun lane drive, it's probably about a 3.8, 3.7 second aiming time. Dispersion's 0.326, which is actually pretty decent for the alpha, especially again because it does have 500 damage with the Hesh. That's really nasty. Finally, we have the 10 degrees of gun depression, but something you probably didn't notice until I'm pointing it out now is the 12 degrees of gun elevation. That's awful. That means that essentially anybody above you, you're just going to be like, oh. So, yeah, it's not great on the gun elevation. Do keep that in mind. Overall, I mean, just looking at the tank stats, it seems fine, apart from the fact that it should have more pen or a premium round. With the 259 heat, I really think that either Wargaming should A, make that a lot higher to like 300 heat, especially because, as I said, this is with calibrated shells equipped. So it should either be like 300 heat or it should be like AP with 259 pen. I think that would make it a lot better. That's my opinion. We'll have to see how it is in testing. My guess is it'll be changed quite a bit by the time it is released. But as of right now, this tank is just flat out disappointing. If you want my opinion on what it should have been, is a 3-shell autoloader with 350 alpha for the standard ammunition and then a Hesh shell that deals 420 high explosive. And the Hesh has 200 and let's just say 200 pen, and the AP has 260, just like they have here. It has no premium ammunition though on penetration, so just like they have, it has no heat shells, it has no anything good like that. It just has Hesh with 200 mils of pen, and it has AP with 260, and then a 3-shell autoloader, and the one's really deadly and the one isn't, and the intro clip would be 2.5 seconds. That would be how I would balance the vehicle. Now, obviously, Wargaming won't ever do this because they don't listen to people, but that's what I would do. I think that would make the tank fun. It would still live up to the PC name, and it wouldn't be overpowered. So that's it. I think, oh, and I would make the dispersion like 0.35 because this tank shouldn't have that good dispersion. Either way, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this vehicle. If you want my honest opinion, I am very disappointed. When I saw this tank was coming into the game, like when my moderator told me that he dug this tank up in the files, I was really excited because it's going to be our first version of a Hesh autoloader that has a really cool gun and, you know, all the features it carries. And then we got the stats of it the other day, and I was like, wow, this thing sucks. Why would I ever want to play this tank? I mean, sure, it looks cool, but the Centurion 7-1 already exists for gaming. It already has 10 degrees of gun depression. It already goes faster than this tank. It's already got better turn armor. Why in any world would I drive this tank when the Cent 7-1 exists? There isn't any world. The thing's pointless. It really is. I'm sorry, Wargaming, but this is an absolute dud and failure of a tank. If you release this, I'm not going to be very happy with the way it currently is. It needs to be an autoloader. That's the whole point of it. But that's at least my opinion. Oh well, let me know what you guys think about this tank in the comments down below, and if you agree with me, please let Wargaming know as well, because this is not okay for what this tank should be. But at the end of the day, we don't really have much of a say in what Wargaming does, and if they want to screw over us with a tank that's pretty lackluster, they can. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.